Rolling? Is that on? Yeah. Yes.
Heath, how important is the fact that you go into this game on the back of 4 straight wins while you play a team that's lost 4 times, taking into account the fact that anything can happen on a night T20s? How important is the confidence?
Yeah, look, I think it is important. I think we're coming good at the right time of the tournament, and I think our team balance is also coming together quite nicely. So I've been really pleased, especially with our bowlers, how they've put it together. I think we were probably, if we're honest with ourselves, maybe a little bit disjointed and a bit under par in the bowling department early on, and the batting came to our rescue. So very good to go in with that confidence of having 4 wins.
Dilip?
Heath, all teams, no matter how successful, get stale after a while. They need new ideas. This year you've gone in with a fairly new playing group. How much do you think that's helped put this kind of season together?
Yeah, look, I think we've got a good mix of youth and experience. I think obviously having the likes of a guy like Sunil Nareen, in the spin department, or Kuldeep is obviously an emerging player in the Indian side, but very confident at the moment. And then we've had the youngsters like Mavi and Prasid, who've got a point to prove and want to stake a claim, going forward in cricket. So it's been really it's been an enjoyable blend, and the guys are really hungry to succeed. Obviously, we had the big blow of Mitchell Stark not being able to come, so it's hard to replace someone of that caliber. But I think the guys have stood up brilliantly. We've got a really nice blend. If you look at our bowlers, there's no one who's the same, which is really nice. So I think that's also been an added plus for us.
Sandeep?
Looking at the way Kane Williamson is performing consistently, what could be the strategy to get rid of him at the earliest?
Yeah, look, I think, Kane's playing well at the moment. I think, sometimes people forget to just bowl good balls at him. I think he's one of those players who respects a good ball, and so it's not to be intimidated and to go away from the plan. He's like any other good player. If you bowl enough in the right area, you will create chances. But at the moment, he's picking length and line really well. So your margins for error are very, very tight. I think our bowlers are executing their skills a bit better. I still feel that in the first 10 overs, we can improve, and I think if we can do that in tomorrow's game and continue what we've been doing at the back end, middle and back end, I think we can really put them under a lot of pressure.
Raj?
Yeah, Heath, two questions. First of all, though Hyderabad has lost 4 matches in a row, but still on paper they're a better side than Rajasthan, right? Especially the bowling department and Rashid Khan. How are you planning to counter him, Rashid and Hyderabad bowling? And secondly, when talking about Prasid Krishna, you are also a fast bowler in the past. So how bright future he has? What do you think?
Yeah, well, firstly, you don't play cricket on paper, so they're just names. So look, they're a very strong side. We respect them. They've got some good players. They wouldn't have finished at the top of the table if they weren't a good side. But I think, like I said, I think we're coming right at the right time. I think the balance, the form, those are all important factors in cricket. And at the end of the day, you can only play one ball at a time, whether you're facing it or bowling it. You can only deal with those. So we're really trying to focus on just not the names of who we're playing against and the form. We know they're a good side, and we know they're probably the favourites, but I think we've also got home advantage and home support, which has been unbelievable. And your second question, I think Prasid has been outstanding. I think he's brought a new dimension, not just his pace, but his height. And for me, the most pleasing thing to see is how much of a thinking cricketer he is. He's really being smart. He's using his options and variations well. He's using the double bluffs. He's not allowing the batsman to be able to look at the field and know what ball's coming next. But of course, even with all of that, you've still got to execute your skill, which he's done. And I think his confidence is growing, and he's been fantastic. Yesterday, that 18th over was world class, and it reminds me of guys like Jasprit Bumrah who came on the scene doing exactly what he has. So I think he's really making a name for himself this IPL, and he's just another one of those names that IPL has unearthed and really brought to the fore.
Heath, what are some key attributes that Dinesh Karthik has brought as a captain to this franchise?
I think Dinesh, you've seen how professional he is. I think that never say die attitude. He demands that fight and that never give up sort of attitude, which has been really good. And he's passionate. You can see by every boundary, every run we concede, like how he's you can see him thinking and really the passion that he brings and the support that he gives to the bowlers, and the energy. So yeah, he's been really good for us. And I think obviously, it's his first stint in the IPL as a captain, so he also wants to make an impression. And I think he's also starting to find his feet and understand the players and what gets the best out of each and every individual player, because everyone's an individual in their own right. So yeah, DK's been fantastic, and hopefully he can continue it for another 2 games and take the boys through to a final.
You're talking about your team balance, and one pertinent factor is the fact that your youngsters have stepped up during the later part of the tournament, and that's kind of led to your form right now. So how would you assess how these guys have shaped up, the likes of Navin, Shubman Gill, and Prasidh Krishna? How would you rate them as how do you describe their evolution as an individual?
Yeah. Look, I think it's well documented that the teams who the domestic Indian players perform well in generally are the ones that also perform consistently. And I think for us, obviously the franchise took a position to invest in some young guys. For me, the rewarding thing is that guys like Shubman and Mavi are probably playing beyond their years in terms of the experience that they're showing. I think it's been really, if you consider like Shubman Gill's innings last night, he didn't look as though he was perplexed by the situation. He came in a very tough time. He was very composed, very controlled, and he's done that a few times for us. And for a 19, 20-year-old to be able to do that, Shivam Mavi as well has come in. He hasn't been intimidated. I mean, he's come in and bowled some serious deliveries to get rid of some top players. So, he's going to grow, and to know that you've got a youngster like that for the next couple of years is brilliant. And of course, Prasid's a touch older than those guys, but he's also he has a bit more experience at domestic level, but he's really stepped up and he's used that experience and that brilliantly. So I've been very happy, and of course, obviously our spin trio has been it's been consistently good for us, and I think that's a huge advantage for us. It's brought us back into many games.
As a bowling coach, what sort of suggestions you gave to the bowlers to see such a drastic change in the death bowling of the team over the last
I think it's got a lot more to do with our planning. I think the guys have the skill set. It's just backing your plans. We try work on sort of plans where we look at the batter's strengths and where they like to target, and then also have field sets where the batsman's not sure what type of delivery is coming. I think in this day and age, if a batsmen are very astute, if they see the field and they know there's only one type of delivery, it puts a lot of pressure on a bowler. So we try and set fields where the bowler can either bowl 2 different lines or 2 different lengths, so that the batsman at least has to think a little bit and he can't just set up for one specific type of delivery. But at the end of the day, then the guys have got to execute. I think the good thing for us is that we've got ball speed. I think Mavi, Krishna and Andre Russell are all above the 140, and we've also been able to use the bounces quite effectively. So I think that those things help. And then when you have your change-ups, if you're bowling over 140 and you do change up and bowl a cutter or a slow ball, I think you've seen it's a lot more effective.
Last 3. Yeah.
Heath, what do you make of Andre Russell, the bowler, what he brings to KKR, and the way DK has used him this season?
Yeah, I think, look, we've seen Andre has come and changed the game round for us a few times. You know, example, that game against Kings, where he came in and on a pretty good wicket at indoor and a small ground, he came in and turned the game around. And that's what I think Andre's like that. There'll be days where he might be a little bit expensive, but he's a match winner with the bat and with the ball. And, you know, that's priceless. To have someone who in their own right could probably just make the side in one department, but he's a match winner with bat and with the ball. So, you know, we're very fortunate. It gives us balance. It gives us the opportunity to be able to, you know, to have an extra bowler or an extra batter for the skipper to be able to use. So, you know, very lucky to have someone of his caliber.
Heath, quite a few of the teams in this tournament had very top-heavy batting orders. Do you think it's coincidence that Chennai, who are in the final, and yourselves who've put a run together, bat quite deep compared to others?
Yeah, look, I think that's something that you have to have, and I think you have to have power down. You know, not just power at the top, but then power at the back end. Often you'll see, and the other night was a good example where CSK pulled off that win. You know, often, you know, if you get to that needing 10 and over, you still need guys who've got the ability to clear the rope. So yeah, that's been a massive advantage for us. But I also think that I think for us, one of the good things is that we haven't sort of tapped off, you know, in the middle. We've been quite consistent in terms of our scoring rate through the innings. You know, we don't sort of tap off too much from over 7 to 14. We continue to score at quite consistent, you know, scoring rates. So I think that makes a difference. And, you know, luckily we've got a good balance of power hitters. You know, your likes of your Lins, Uthappa, and Russells, and then your sort of more conventional players, your Rana, DK, Shubman Gill. They've come in, and obviously of late we've brought in Javon Searles. Even though number 8 doesn't get to face a lot of balls, but I think he gives that top 7 a bit of a cushion, knowing that they've got guys behind, and if we need someone who can come in, and we might need a 20 or 10 ball type innings, he can do that, and often that does happen in T20 cricket.
With 2 more games, and it is not only about skills, it is also to stay focused. So what is the team management doing to keep this young bunch of cricketers focused for the 2 more bunch games?
Well, I'm going to tell him you said 2 more games, so obviously you know something we don't, so hopefully you're right. Yeah, look, I think for us, we don't want to look too far ahead. I think it's just focusing on one game at a time, and we definitely have made a conscientious effort to keep the guys grounded and just focus on the game at hand, and not to worry too much about who you're bowling at or who you're facing, but actually your skill, what your strengths are. Continue to remind them, you know, the things that have worked for them and have got them selected into the IPL teams will continue to work for them. They just got to do it better and be smart, and obviously understand the opposition, what their strengths and weaknesses are, and how we can exploit those.
Last one.
Yeah, yesterday at one point of time, Rajasthan was 87 for 1 in the first 10 overs. So what was going through your mind at that point of time? What were you planning, and what are the positives you want to carry forward in the next game that you got from the Rajasthan match?
Yeah, look, I think we've shown it a couple of times where we've fought back after possibly not the best, you know, first 6 overs and that, and I think that's I think the beauty of having Kuldeep and Nareen. You know, they've got that ability to squeeze teams. So obviously, even though we didn't lose, RR didn't lose wickets, we were able to keep that run rate going up, and we knew they possibly didn't have the you know, that dangerous you know, sort of batting at the back end, you know, and we planned well. I think the big thing was the guys really executed the plans we discussed superbly, but still I thought the bowling in the middle was fantastic. You know, how Kuldeep, you know, 18 off 4 was outstanding. Chawla, you know, they bowled superbly, and we got wickets at the right times. We knew it was a type of wicket that it's not easy to come in on, because we had batted on it. We knew it wasn't easy just to come in and hit straight away. You had to get a bit of time, and we saw that as soon as Samson went out, we were able to squeeze it a bit more.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Great game.
Thank you.
Can you just keep it in your pocket? You just want to